Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Land Information Council of Jamaica's webinar series for 2021. And you're with us for webinar 1, Introduction to ArcGIS Online. Confirming if you're able to hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Ms. Lloyd. You can go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Thank you. Welcome again. So this is the first in a 3 series in terms of webinars that will be focusing on ArcGIS Online. So today we'll be venturing into ArcGIS Online in terms of an introduction to the platform, an introduction to how it can be used, its various features, functionalities, the viewpoint of an administrator in terms of managing the platform, and to guide you in terms of how we can better assist you. So there are the 2 webinars in the series. On the 2nd of March, we'll be looking at configuring ArcGIS dashboards with Ms. Nadisha Poyser, and on the 16th of March, we'll be looking at how to make maps on the platform, the various ways of making maps, and that will be guided by Mr. Walter Williams. So who am I? My name is Simone Lloyd. I am a certified GIS professional, educator, trainer with project management experience. I've been working in the industry for over 14 years, primarily at the National Spatial Data Management Branch, and we now fall within the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, and we're the Secretariat for the Land Information Council of Jamaica. In terms of responsibilities, the development and delivery of GIS training programs and initiatives, also coordinating Jamaica's National Emergency Response GIS team, working on various educational initiatives in terms of promoting awareness where geospatial technology is concerned and how it can better aid us, various projects and also events locally, regionally, and also internationally, and serving on the United Nations Global Geospatial Information Management Group of Experts as Jamaica focal point, and serving on various groupings, there. So why are we having this webinar? Through the webinar, we want to really be able to create awareness of the ArcGIS Online platform, which is why we have 3 parts. We want to expose you to various features and functionalities of the platform. So we're taking for granted that we have persons who have never utilized the platform at all. And so we're introducing you to the platform. We know that we should have persons who are ardent users of the platform. And so you may learn 1 or 2 things, or it may be a refresher for you. So thank you for being with us. And so we want to encourage usage, whether you have never used before or whether you are using, to use in terms of all that is available on the platform. As administrators, we want to give you an idea in terms of our functionalities and how we can better assist you where the platform is concerned, and also expose you to the various training opportunities that are available to increase your competency and your skill sets where working on the ArcGIS Online platform is concerned. So, what is the platform? What is ArcGIS Online? The platform, what are the various access levels, the login options that are available, the interface itself with the various toolbars, there are various user types and also various roles. There are features and functionalities that are on the platform that we want you to get familiar with, and definitely what are the training opportunities. So if you are an ardent GIS user, you would have exposure to working with desktop GIS. So on your laptop or on your desktop computer using ArcMap and now ArcGIS Pro as desktop GIS software. Those who have been in the industry for some time would have been exposed to the whole creation of .mxd files, which are map documents. And so that is where GIS is coming from primarily being focused on desktop to now moving, expanding on that or evolving from that to include the web-based, the cloud-based side of things. So from traditional to launching further. Ms. Kelly Jarreau from Esri in 2019 outlined that there are currently more than 1.9 million users of the ArcGIS Online platform, and that there are 26 million items that are available on the platform. Of course, with this, she has also indicated that there are over 3 million items that can be shared to everyone, and that with the Living Atlas, there are over 8,000 items. So based on that, we're seeing that the reach in terms of GIS has increased significantly through the use of through the development of the ArcGIS Online platform and through its usage. So with the platform, it facilitates the whole connection between desktop GIS, in addition to mobile, web-based GIS, and the whole integration of various developer tools on this platform. So with this, there's an integration of all of these various areas through which various content, a wide variety of content, are generated, or they're authored, they're published, and they're shared. They're organized in various ways to facilitate ease of discovery, and then they are shared whether with an organization or with individual groups that you have determined, or whether you want to just privately have access to whatever it is that you have created and shared on the platform. So data is what is prime where the ArcGIS Online platform is concerned. Data that is authored by various users, data that is pulled in from various sources, data that can be captured by various apps or represented by various apps that are available on the platform, and then data that through the use of maps that are designed, maps that are dynamic, maps that are 2D versus scenes that are 3D, how it is that this information can be shared with a wide variety of persons. So how do we communicate a particular idea effectively to a target audience using specific data sets or specific information to communicate said information? So it is web-based. It is also cloud-based. It's an example of a web-based GIS. So geospatial content, geographic data that is location-based, that is generated, uploaded, published, and shared, and is done so either individually, in particular groups, or on an organization level, or with the wider public. All right. And with this, it sits on Esri servers. And so we refer to it as being cloud-based, as a cloud-based GIS. So in accessing the ArcGIS Online platform, we go to www.arcgis.com from any browser that you utilize. And with that, we're able to create, publish, and share various data, maps, and apps. We can access ones that exist on the platform already that have been created by other persons and that have been made available, whether in a group that you're involved in or within the organization of which you're a part of, or generally that's made available to the public. We can also integrate these various geospatial data from various sources once they have been made public, and we can create various maps, various apps, and these can be done from various templates that exist, or we can do them from scratch. And of course, as stated before, the work executed will determine who has access to this data and to these various resources or services that we generate and we provide. So ArcGIS Online has two primary access levels. A core of ArcGIS is the fact that you have to be a named user in order to be able to access the platform. Must be a named user. So identity is very important where the platform is concerned. So whether you're a public user or whether you're a member of an organization, you must have an ArcGIS Online account in order to be able to access. So public users, it's a free account, you generate it on your own. It has limited functionalities. Yeah, so there are use limitations, but with an organization account, as long as you're a member and you have one of those accounts, yes, it comes at a cost. So there must be payment where the service is concerned in terms of maintaining the subscription. But with that, there is much wider in terms of access to what's on the platform under the subscription to a wide variety of users with much more functionalities or privileges that they can access to execute their work. So I said before, public user, definitely you have access. You can, if you have, many of us would have before had Esri Global accounts. So these can become an ArcGIS public account from an Esri Global account. Esri has a 30-day free trial period that you can go on Esri.com and you can actually request to get the 30-day free trial. But if you're within an organization, so for instance, if you're within the government of Jamaica and you're from a ministry department or agency that falls under it, that's listed under our enterprise agreement, then you can have access to an account being created for you. As long as the request comes from whoever is designated as the primary contact from your organization, we can facilitate the creation of an account for you, and then you'll have access to the subscription where this particular organization is concerned, and the organization in this context being Government of Jamaica. Now, with these accounts, in order to generate them, there's certain basic information that is needed. A, we must know your name. So what is your first name, last name, your email address, your username, your role, and whatever is your user type. The user type is very important because the user type is what is going to determine what access you have and what privileges you have in terms of being able to execute particular work on the platform. So it's very key that one determines what is the most ideal user type for you based on what it is that your organization is going to be requiring of you to execute on a daily basis. So what is your role? A role is a set of privileges assigned to a member of the platform. So we can see in this diagram that there are 5 ArcGIS Online default roles. They include a viewer, a data editor, a user, a publisher, and an administrator. Administrator having the most access in terms of privileges to execute any work or any function where the platform is concerned. So viewer being the most basic. A viewer can use layers, maps, scenes, and apps, use GeoSearch, use geocoding, demographics, directions and routing, join groups, except for shared update groups. So that's a viewer. An editor, in addition to that, can edit features, all right? A user, in addition to that, can join shared update groups, use subscriber content, use spatial analysis, and with a publisher, there are additional functionalities. And of course, with an administrator, there are much more additional functionalities. So we ask that you access the link that is here so that you can see what are these additional privileges that each of these various roles provides you in terms of access. So logging into the platform. When one comes to logging into the platform, one would need, of course, credentials to facilitate access. So A, you would have, if you're within an organization, reached out to your administrator through whoever is your primary contact for your ministry department or agency or company or institution. And with that, they would have created an account for you based on the request that has been made. Once your account has been created and there is a username, you have set your password, you then come to www.arcgis.com, of which you would then enter your username and enter your password. Once you do that, you would then have access to the organization of which you are a member of in terms of the subscription. If you have the URL for your organization, you can simply type that in, and then as we can see here in the bottom diagram, you can type that in for Jamaica. It will be Government of Jamaica. If you're a member of Government of Jamaica, so it will be goj.maps.arcgis.com. Once that is done, it then carries you to sign into the Government of Jamaica with, and then I would enter my information in order to gain access. So this is what the home page looks like. The home page has 8 primary tabs: home, gallery, maps, scene, notebook, groups, content, and organization. I will be going through each of them. There's a notification bell at the top of which we need to pay attention to at intervals in terms of what are the important notifications that are there that we may need to be guided by in terms of action. There is a search tab. There's a search, symbol allows us to be able to search the platform in terms of seeing what content is there and accessing the various content or accessing the various apps that are contained. We can easily access tabs from a quick launch that is there, and we can check to see what is our login information, right? So there I can see my name and I can see my username. So it's important, once you have established that you have an account, you have logged in, that you go through the process of actually setting up your profile. So you go to profiles from the top right hand corner, you click the drop down, you select profile, and with that you would then set information about yourself. So a quick bio about yourself, your profile visit, so who it is that you would like to see your profile. You make it visible, whether it's within the organization or whether it's going to be private or whether you're going to make it public in terms of everyone. You determine that and you set it accordingly. Additionally, there are groups that you may become associated with that will also show up here, and the content within those groups. So the main ArcGIS Online toolbar tabs. So gallery allows us to be able to browse and see whatever maps are available, web maps, and whatever mobile apps. So it's always good to give a quick run through in terms of gallery. Map allows us to build and design or interactive dynamic maps. And these are web maps. And from these web maps, we can then generate web mapping applications and share them accordingly. Groups allow us to create groups, to share content with groups, and to actually see which groups we are a part of. Then there is the whole content aspect of it, where we can see in terms of what content items are available in the ArcGIS Online platform to various users. So what is available in terms of organization-based groups and public, depending on where you are in terms of access, in terms of seeing content, various content, and you can see what is your content specifically. For the organization, we're able to keep abreast of what is there in terms of content for the organization and also the users of the organization. So quite a bit in terms of content is there, of which this content would have been authored by someone, an individual, or created by an individual. This content would have also been published, which is why it's here on the ArcGIS Online platform, and it would have been shared with, either you're going to keep it to yourself in terms of private, or you would have shared it with a particular group or groups or with an organization. All right. So the 3 key steps where use of ArcGIS Online is concerned is to create or author content, to publish this content or publish services, and to share them. Share them with whoever is your target audience that you need to have access. So with gallery, we have the gallery for the GOJ subscription. There's the gallery tab where we can view various content that has been created and that's accessible for the organization, within the organization. And when you're in gallery, you can view maps, layers, scenes, apps, tools, files, notebooks. So content is organized, or content items are organized in these categories as maps, layers, etc. And you can click on each to see what is available to you. I said before, the map tab allows you to create your own maps, your own dynamic interactive maps, where you choose a study area, you determine what you want to show, you select your base map, you add whatever additional layers, whether it is your layers or layers that you're going to access from elsewhere. You build out in terms of what else you want to show on this in terms of communicate whatever information you'd like to communicate. You save and then you share this. So you share the web map, or you can convert it to a web mapping application and share the app, which may have particular analysis tools that you may want persons to have access to in terms of executing particular items. Scene is where we go to 3D. So here is where we're creating in 3D. So do you have virtual tours that you want to do? Do you want to see an area in 3D? All 3D work, most 3D work will happen in your scene tab. So this is where we go for that type of work. Groups is very important. This is where we're able to view our groups. So whichever group it is that I'm in or whatever groups I've assigned, there are featured groups that may be there, and there are groups with relation to the organization that would also exist. Content, I can view my content specifically, or I can view content with respect to groups that I'm a part of, or I can view content with regards to my organization. So what is available as content within my organization, which has been made available to be viewed by the organization. Now, as an administrator in terms of role, we're able to see an overview of the platform. So information with regards to the subscription, when was the account or the subscription created? When is its expiry? Who are the number of, what number of members do we have? Are they active versus inactive? Are there members who we have who have never activated their accounts? We're able to see that. What is the credit allocation and the usage on the platform? And that is key. No work can be executed on the platform if there is no credit. So credits have to exist in order to be able to allow members to execute their work. So what is the credit allocation? What is the usage? What is the usage over a particular period of time? So in terms of monitoring, credit usage is also important as an administrator. License usage is also key in terms of monitoring. So what subscription related licenses are available? So are there ArcGIS Pro related licenses that are on the platform assigned to the particular platform, the particular subscription? And with that, what has been used and what is available for usage? Also, what is the latest in terms of content that has been created on the platform? So, given what I just outlined, I can see here that for the past 30 days, over 11,000, almost 12,000 credits were utilized. And in the past 24 hours, 425.90 in terms of credits have been utilized. So I'm able to see that. Apart from that, in terms of members, we're able to see in terms of for for today or the last 24 hours or whatever the time period is, who are the members who have logged in? Who are the last persons to have logged in? We're able to keep track of that in terms of usage also. So in terms of users, types of users, either as a user, you're going to be a viewer, an editor, a field worker, a creator, or a GIS professional. For accounts that are under ArcGIS subscription, they are automatically set as creators. However, as we proceed in terms of the new renewal, we'll be able to actually convert or request that some of the creators be assigned as field workers. If your requirements in terms of execution of tasks is only limited to being a field worker. With creators, however, creators have all the privileges of field workers in addition to additional. All right. So as we can see from viewer to GIS professional, there's an increase in terms of access and privileges that you have being made available to you. So there are various apps that can be customized, can be added and customized as per your needs that are available there. So from the top right hand corner, we can access the various apps that are available and we can quick launch them, and with that being able to customize them based on our needs. Content. From the content tab, we're seeing here that we can also create, whether we're going to be creating layers or whether these are feature layers, tile layers, or locator, or are we going to be creating apps? If we are creating apps, we can do so from configurable apps, where we can create a web app based on specific templates that are there that we can utilize according to our needs, or we can use Web App Builder. all right, to create 2 or 3D apps. Survey 123 is one of those more so common apps that is utilized on the platform. A lot of web apps, a lot of survey apps in terms of whether they are for whether you need to collect data from a wide variety of persons. And with these persons, you need them to provide information. You can create a survey and it's location based and you can send it out to these persons for them to then fill in and then for you to get whatever feedback. So I can see my surveys, or I can see surveys within the organization created by others. And here's an example of a survey that would be one of my surveys. So this was an evaluation form for an event, a GIS event. Of course, with these various apps, we can view them whether on mobile phones or tablets or desktop devices or computers. So with the Survey 123 app, based on whatever data would have been captured based on persons filling in the evaluation form, we would have created a word cloud in terms of analysis of the information captured, or columns or bars to show the information that would have been captured, or pie charts, or they could also be displayed as maps. So one of the major advantages of Survey 123 apps is the fact that from this, with a click of 1, 2, 3, 4, we can generate various forms of visualization in terms of charts and graphs or maps displaying whatever information would have been captured by the survey. Dashboards are also key, and dashboards more so now are being used, and in particular within the context of natural disasters, and in particular for COVID-19. If you go on the ArcGIS.com website, if you go in the Living Atlas, I'm sure you find quite an array of various dashboards that have been created by various persons with respect to COVID-19 mapping, and displaying of whatever is happening in terms of status of cases within particular countries. Also, where disaster response is concerned and monitoring, dashboards are key. And as mentioned before, Ms. Poise will be guiding us through how to configure these dashboards on March 2nd in the second webinar of this series. So we can create dashboards, new dashboards. Once we launch the dashboard app below, we can set a title, give tags, summary, and indicate where it's going to be stored. And we can go through the process of actually customizing or configuring our dashboard. So here we have 4 examples of dashboards created by various persons from various countries, and we can see the variety in terms of information that is displayed there, all right, with different indicators. So dashboards provide quite a bit in terms of power, in terms of visualization of our data and the analysis results of whatever analysis we execute. Then we come to story maps. Story maps that communicate particular information, so communicating a story visually through the use of maps, through the use of audio visuals in terms of videos, and in terms of other forms of media to effectively show whatever it is that you want to communicate. So images, videos, maps, etc. are utilized to communicate stories, and these are location based. And there's quite an array there in terms of samples that you can go through on the platform and get ideas in terms of how you can build out your own story maps. So here we come to a demo of the ArcGIS Online platform. Hello, everyone.
Lloyd, can you hear me?
Yes.
The demo, we're stuck at the.
You're stuck at where? Sorry, Walter, go again, please.
The demo, we're not seeing the demo.
You're not seeing the demo?
No.
All this time?
Yes, all this time we're wondering what was going on.
Help us. I thought you were, sorry. Okay, let me try again.
You don't need to explain anything.
So you're hearing it, but you're not seeing it?
I'm not hearing or seeing anything.
Hold a moment, please. Sorry about that. What are you seeing, please?
We're just seeing the presentation saying ArcGIS Online demo.
Okay. Are you seeing it now and hearing it? Sorry, you're hearing and seeing it now, Walter?
No, Miss Lloyd, we're not seeing anything. We're just seeing the presentation still, but we're not hearing anything, no.
Okay. All right, given the fact that you're not seeing, I'm just gonna run through the main features of the demo live. Okay.
Okay.
You're seeing my screen?
Yes, Miss Lloyd, you're live again. You can go ahead.
All right, good. Sorry about that. I really thought you guys were seeing and hearing the demo. So the demo really just carried us through how to log into the ArcGIS Online platform. So I would have gone to arcgis.com and with that typed in any browser. And with that, put in my login credentials and it would have carried me to the Government of Jamaica's ArcGIS Online platform. With that, the platform has various toolbar tabs at the top: home, gallery, map, scene, notebook, groups, content, and organization. It's always wise when one starts to use the platform to just put in some information in terms of your user profile, to build out what is there in terms of making it personal, in terms of putting in a photo, also a little bio, setting your profile visibility in terms of whether private, organization, or otherwise, and to see, once added to groups, in terms of which groups you're in, the content that's available to you, and to set your settings. As an administrator, when I go to the organization tab, I'm able to do a quick overview in terms of what's happening on the platform. So who are they? What's the current number in terms of users, in terms of members? Also, what is the credit allocation? What are the licenses that are available? In addition, I can also do a quick look in terms of who are the members who have logged in today. We can see that, and over time, what roles have they been assigned, and what type of work it is that they have been doing. That can be monitored over time if there is that need. We can create new or invite new members, either through invitations, or we can add them and notify them via email, or if they have an existing account, we can also assign accordingly. With that, of course, we would need information with respect to their email address, their name, and whatever role it is that they would like to be assigned. Now, because in most cases, organizations would want accounts to be created for multiple persons, we'll ask them to fill out a form, of which we convert to a .csv, and then that's uploaded to then generate the accounts for them. And that is for members. So that is organization. Gallery allows us to see what is available within the organization in terms of resources that have been authored and created. So that's the gallery, Jamaica. And maps, layers, scenes, apps, tools, files, notebooks have been generated, and they're there in terms of access. So as long as they're within the organization, they're set for visibility within the organization. It can be viewed. Map is where we go to create our map from scratch, of which was mentioned before, where we add or determine our area, add our layers, determine our base map, determine whatever other information we want to add in terms of labels, etc. We save, we share, whether as a web map, or we can convert it to a web mapping application. All right, so that's map. Then we have content. There is also content. Oh, map is 2D. Scene is where we go if we want to create 3D. So if you have walkthroughs that you want to do that are going to be 3D in nature in terms of virtual tours or whatever it is, you can do so in scene. Apart from scene, we have groups. Group is where we go to see which groups we're placing, or we can create groups and assign in terms of particular resources that our group may want to access. Then comes also content, where I can go and I can see whatever content it is that I have created, or content that's available within the groups I'm in, or within the organization, or content that's available on the Living Atlas. Importantly, there are various apps that one can ascertain and utilize. And with that, we can access from here in terms of quick launching the various apps that are available, and then we can customize them. So whether they be story maps or dashboards or survey 1, 2, 3 forms, etc., they can be accessed and created from there. Apart from that, while in content and in my content, we can create, and from create, we can create layers or more, or we can create various apps and then build them out as the need arises. All right. Where my organization is concerned, we can see the variety that is there in terms of content, within the organization, different from, yes, the Living Atlas in terms of examining resources that are there. I'm going to go back to the My Organization tab. And in particular, I'm going to go to Status. And with Status, we can view the credit usage over time, different from the content that is there in terms of available within the subscription. Here we're seeing that most of the content generated is private. Some is organization, exposed to organization. Many are in groups, right? And some are public. Various apps, many of which are private apps, then they're group, and they're also organization based, and some are public. Can check on groups, members, and also groups in terms of seeing how the groups. So most of the groups that are there are private groups. But in terms of credit allocation, we can see that much of the usage where the platform is concerned is really with regards to storage of data, services, and then analytics is next in terms of use of the credit allocation where the application is concerned, where the platform is concerned, that is. All right, and that is the primary in terms of the demo. So I'm going to quickly go back and just finish up the presentation. So primary where the platform is concerned is having named users. These will be individuals which will then form groups, and the groups which fall within the organization, and whatever content that is created or authored can be made public. Different from sharing in groups or the organization. Now, Virginia Tech pointed out that there are 4 primary foundations where the ArcGIS Online platform is concerned, in terms of the fact that it's built on identity management, the fact that you have to have a user account, you have to be a named user. Content management and discovery is facilitated easily, and that's promoted by the fact that whatever you're generating or creating or authoring must have tags assigned to it, and the tags is what helps you to find users, to find whatever information or whatever content you've created. It's self-service in terms of self-service mapping. So as GIS persons, we don't have the time to be always creating maps or particular resources for other members of our organization. But given how easily map creation can be facilitated, the use of apps can be facilitated, how it is that they can do so on their own. All right. And because of how the platform is presented with all the resources, there is a much broader reach in terms of GIS data. So there are training opportunities. Please register and join the other 2 webinars that we have coming up on the 2nd and on the 16th of March. Esri also has quite a bit of resources. There are learning plans, web courses, training seminars, videos, instructor-led courses, and documentation that you can utilize to build your capacity. Now, if it's a case whereby you would like to utilize the Esri resources, and you're within an organization, and if you're within this organization, you can just reach out in terms of requesting that an account be created for you. And with that, you can go on the Esri's training site, and you can type in whatever it is you want to search for. Let's say you want to build up further your knowledge and experience where ArcGIS Online is concerned. You will search for it, determine the type of resource. So is it an instructor-led? Is it a web course? Is it an instructor-led course? If it's instructor-led, there will be a cost associated. There are many courses there that are maintenance, that require maintenance. So if you're within this organization, you can access those maintenance courses once we make them Esri enabled for you. So we encourage you to go search, request an account if you do not have one, request Esri enablement, pursue the courses, and if there is a certificate assigned are available, please do so in terms of completing to get your certificate and update your resume. All right, and you can check and track in terms of your progress where the courses are concerned and whether they have been completed. Right. Different from the fact that we have an Esri, a GOJ/Esri ELA training program, of which you can benefit from a variety of courses, of which I'm sure many, if you're on, who have benefited before, you can speak to. So quick reminders: explore, explore, explore. There are quite a bit of resources out there. The platform is available for you to utilize. If you have an organization account, you have much more in terms of access. If you have an account you've never activated, please activate and start using. If you've accessed before and you're using now, explore more and additional functionalities and features and use. If you do not have an account, reach out to us so that it can be created for you if you're within this organization in terms of Government of Jamaica. Attend the other upcoming webinars. Request Esri Enable access for your account if you want to access the Esri online courses. And also Esri has more courses that you can utilize. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, Walter.
Thank you, Ms. Lloyd. There are a few questions, just two so far in the chat. I was trying to send them to you. I'm not sure if you're able to see them. But the first one is from Dr. Susan Davis, I think. Yeah, so she's asking, is the Scene tab available to a data editor, user, and publisher? And she's asking an additional question, which is, apart from credit allocation and monitoring of credit usage, what are the other key responsibilities of an administrator? To the other participants, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I am now looking at them, but we will end promptly at 11. So the live event is scheduled to end at 11. So if you want to ask a question, you have to go ahead now. If we don't get to address your questions directly in this webinar, we'll be able to respond to them. If you just call us at the office or if you send us an email, we'll try to answer those. So over to you again, Ms. Lloyd.
Okay, thank you, Walter. So Suzanne, in answering your questions, let me start with the last one first. So administrators deal with the monitoring and management of the platform. So the creation of member accounts, the management in terms of members keeping track of active usage versus not, reaching out in terms of whether it's a case whereby we may need to make particular accounts dormant if they're not being used, right? Because we generally do not delete accounts, but we may make them dormant if it's a case whereby they're not being utilized. We assign in terms of licenses to accounts as needed. There are as long as the licenses are subscription based, they will be tied to the account, the subscription where this platform is concerned. So we can see and keep track of what licenses there are, in particular in terms of ArcGIS Pro licenses, because those are subscription based. So if it's a case whereby you have an ArcGIS Online account, you would like to have ArcGIS Pro assigned to your account, we can do so, and we can assign related extensions that you may need to utilize, whether it be 3D Analyst, Spatial Analyst, and whatever other extensions are available. In terms of the Pro accounts, we ask that you indicate to us what level you need in terms of basic, standard, or advanced in terms of the accounts, and also what are the extensions that you may also need to be assigned. Apart from that, administrators deal with the assignment and the management of groups, although users, regular users on the account, depending on the type of role you have, you can generate your groups and you can assign members as long as they are members within the organization, meaning they have they are a named user. You can add their account to a group that you have created. So monitoring where that is concerned is also facilitated by administrators, different from the whole keeping abreast of the credit allocation, because that will influence what work can be done on the platform or not. By users, as we can see, as we saw by the presentation or the demo, the quick demo, much of what is used in terms of credit currently is really for storage. So there's quite a bit in terms of volume. There are over 10,000 based on my last check in terms of resources that are available within the GOG's subscription in terms of what would have been created or authored by various users. All right. With respect to being able to create various content, and in so doing with regards to the scene tab, as long as you're an editor, okay. As long as you are, so the user type would be creator, and with the creator, as long as you're an editor or a publisher, publisher of which I'm absolutely sure you should be able to use the tab. Also, if you're a user, not sure if you're a viewer, but with those three that you have indicated, yes. Any other questions? Hoping I've answered your question clearly, Suzanne.
Yes, there's another question from, hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Jorin Clark, and they want to know what are the credits used for on the platform. And I'll just ask a question. Mr. Adi, could you just differentiate between an enterprise setup and ArcGIS Online? What are the main differences between both, and what are some similarities, maybe one or two similarities of ArcGIS Enterprise and ArcGIS Online?
Okay, so with respect to the credits, so credits are used as users generate content or author content, which is then stored on the platform. Also, as you create and publish various services, credits are utilized. As you conduct analysis on the platform, also, there are various analysis tools that are available, similar to what you would have in the desktop GIS application. So there's ArcMap or ArcGIS Pro, or you'd have in the desktop version. Similar in terms of tools are available in ArcGIS Online. So with that, as you use these various analysis tools, as you create various web apps, that you would then assign to the web apps in terms of what particular functionalities in terms of analysis functions users can execute in terms of measuring distances or doing geocoding or whatever it is that you assign in terms of tools. As they are utilized, then credits are utilized. So once you're operating on the platform and doing much in terms of work, but based on what we have seen, much of what is being utilized currently is really with regards to storage of content on the platform, but also as you do analytics in terms of analysis, credits are also utilized where that is concerned. All right, I think your question, Walter, would have spoken to ArcGIS Online versus Enterprise, of which portal will come into play. Correct? All right, so where that is concerned, so there are certain similarities that can be drawn between the ArcGIS Online platform and then Enterprise. With an Enterprise and an ArcGIS Enterprise system, you're looking at having a resource that is specific within your organization on your portal, where you would be able to generate your own users within your organization and deploy resources within your organization. So it is local to your organization. It is not sitting on Esri servers. With ArcGIS Online, whatever content is created, whatever work is done, it is done in the cloud on Esri servers. In both contexts, you would determine who are your users. So whoever is going to access and execute work, they would have to be named users. And with that, you would generate the administrator of whichever, whether it's a portal, the enterprise portal, or whether it is the ArcGIS Online platform, the administrator will generate the accounts and assign whatever roles to the users so that they are able to access and utilize the resources in terms of authoring, creating, publishing, or whatever else. And you would assign groups, whether in ArcGIS Online or Enterprise Portal, you would assign them in groups and publish or share information with them accordingly, or within the organization. Walter?
We don't have any more questions just yet.
And we're at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so start on time, end on time. Just want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, Ms. Lloyd, for your presentation. And please continue to check your email and our social media pages as we announce the dates and topics. You guys will probably, if you have checked before, you will see them. But you will see the updates in terms of what we'll be doing next. So the next date is the 2nd of March, and Miss Nadisha Poiser will be going through how to configure an ArcGIS dashboard. So without further ado, thanks again, and goodbye everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good day.